everybody. Well, clearly I'm naked, I'm wearing an apron, and that only can mean one thing. It's another cooking video from me. This is Monday. Hi everybody, so welcome to another week here on The Den. So in all of this quarantine-ness that's going on, I have been doing a lot of cooking, and I've already done one cooking video. Well, maybe I've done enough stuff to warrant another one. So what we're doing today is one of my favorite dishes, is pizza, margarita pizza. So we're kind of going to borrow from two different styles. We're going to go for a Chicago deep dish style crust. I'm going to go for an Italian sauce, and then we're going to go for the margarita pizza itself with bacon. So it's not really the whole same thing. Anyways, here we go. Alright, so one of the first things we're going to do in this is you're going to take about a quarter cup of room temperature water, and we're going to put about a teaspoon and a half of dry yeast in here, and then we're going to try to get that activated as quick as we can, and we're just going to whisk this vigorously for about 30 seconds. So you want to make sure it's nice and foamy when it's done. That's how you know it's good and activated and fully dissolved. There's still a few pieces in there which haven't dissolved yet, so just give it a little bit extra time there. But this is now how you know the yeast is alive, and it kind of has that foaminess around it. So next on here, you're going to want to take your flour mix. So the flour is going to be about 3.5 cups of flour, and we're going to be putting a tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of butter in there. And then we're going to do the same thing, except for we're going to use lard as well. And the same amount of lard is going to be 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon. So what I did for the lard is I didn't have any handy on me. So I'm going to be putting bacon on my pizza anyways. So I decided just to reserve the bacon fat on there, because it works out just to be the same thing anyways. And we'll do the exact same thing that the recipe requires us to do, and it works more as a binding agent. So after that, now if you have a mixer, just put it on a low speed with the dough hook for 1 minute. If you don't, like me, you just kind of want to combine everything until it's nice, kind of cornmeal-y texture, and just a little bit rough here. Oh, one thing I forgot to add in here is you're going to need about a tablespoon of sugar as well. Just kind of mix that all in together. Now at this point where everything is kind of incorporated, we're going to take about 3/4 cup of ice water. And then we're going to take their yeast mixture as well. And we're going to continue to mix this through. So, ooh, that is very cold. So you just want to mix this until the dough really starts to come together. Once everything is incorporated, whoa, we're going to save my tripod from falling over. And there we go. So once everything is incorporated, we're then going to add in 2 teaspoons of salt. One of those ingredients. And then we're just all going to mix it together some more from there. So what I want to do, if you're just kind of hand mixing, you kind of want to make sure all the unincorporated flour is not sitting on the bottom here. So you just kind of pick up things as you go. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of work, and I know KitchenAids are expensive, but sometimes this is what you gotta do. Also, while you're doing this, just to make sure everything is moist, you can reserve about 2 tablespoons of the ice water mix. And you can just kind of add that every once in a while as you mix, just to kind of keep some moisture and to dissolve the salt into the mixture as well. And that way it picks up all the excess stuff and you don't spill salt all over your foot there. You make sure you put the cap back on things. Alright, so once everything's fully incorporated, you just want to make sure it's good and heated for a couple of minutes. Then it'll be good to go for the rise. I got a pretty sexy ball of dough here already. All right, so we're gonna put a damp cloth over this, and then we're gonna wait for that to rise for an hour. While we're waiting for that, we are going to cook some pizza sauce. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do the next part here where I'm gonna be making you the pizza sauce. Thankfully, there's no actual cooking that's gonna be involved in this. So the first thing what we want to do, and make sure again that this is not going to be falling over. Haha. You're gonna need about 15 ounces of tomato sauce itself. If you don't have any tomato sauce, but you happen to have a can of diced tomatoes, you can just blend that. I just so happen to have the right amount of tomato paste I needed for this. So we're gonna need about 6 ounces altogether of tomato paste. And just want to make sure that's all whisked. That's all whisked in together very well. To make sure it's just not lumpy at all. Nobody wants lumpy anything. Next is I have a mix of a tablespoon of oregano as well as a tablespoon of Italian mix, which yes, I'm aware also has oregano, but this is an oregano honey, which most Italian food is. In this mix as well as you're going to have garlic powder. Another half teaspoon of salt. And Greg listening to the RuPaul podcast in there. Now I didn't have any onion powder, so what I did instead was I minced up a quarter of an onion. So we're just going to do that. So we're just going to put the emulsion blender to this so that it kind of all puts in there together. We're also going to need about half a teaspoon of pepper. And a half teaspoon of sugar. So yeah, we're just going to mix this all nice together, and we're just going to sit for a little bit while the dough is rising so we can incorporate all the flavors. So it's a nice thick sauce there. So I'm going to take the blender to it right now. Now I'm using a bit of a shallow dish, so I'm going to use the low setting so this doesn't spray everywhere. Whoop. Slow setting. And you want to do this just kind of get the onions chopped up if you're going to do that method. This method is not necessary if you're going to be doing the onion powder. So there you have it. There's our pizza sauce, all ready to be spread around that delicious pie. Alright, so we're getting to the last part of it. Now the dough didn't rise as much as I would hope that it would rise. So we're going to work with it, see what we can do, make sure this gets stretched out. So it may not be deep dish after all. It's probably going to turn to a regular mix. And there's Greg in his underwear.
Oh God.
Not realizing he's on camera, trying to get behind me in the kitchen.
I didn't realize the camera was panned so low.
You should have realized that when I'm doing a cooking video.
No.
I can't roll dough and be in and have my pretty face showing. So I was a little worried that this wouldn't work out, but it did. Also, I want to thank some people who have been helping out with baked goods during this whole quarantine thing, and especially Cody Sanders, who has delivered yeast when yeast was needed and delivered flour when flour was needed. Half for delicious baked goods being dropped off here.
And then me for eating it?
And Greg for eating it and dancing in his underwear while I'm panned at crotch level. Hi, so I'm not actually naked. You can see I'm wearing shorts under here. Well, whoa. Bare ass on camera.
Derek.
What? We all.
This is YouTube.
I know. We all just saw your bulge. All right. So the sauce made. So flavorful, delicious looking, and very delicious tasting. Just gonna spread that around evenly. Nice and thick sauce here. So the next part of this is I fried up some bacon. So margarita pizza only doesn't have meat. Bacon I just find goes nicely with it. Add a bit of a protein to it, of course. Vegetarian options are always welcome. And make sure that's got a nice even spread. One thing I forgot to prep beforehand is I always do this when I'm making this type of pizza. Balsamic tomatoes. So I take about 16 cherry tomatoes, cut them in halves or quarters depending on the size, and have them marinate in balsamic vinegar, salt, and pepper throughout the day. Usually only need about an hour or two, maybe even 20 minutes is fine. But they're a nice kind of a chunky thing that has a lot of flavor to bite into. You all agree? So the boys haven't spoke up at all this video except for Greg in his underwear. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm pretty alright. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm excited for this pizza. I'm happy everything worked with it. So we're doing a dough I haven't done before, so anything could have happened.
I was happy I got in of Loblaws in short order.
Yeah, the grocery stores here have been pretty backed up. Now, the key ingredient in margarita is basil, and we're going to be planting some of this afterwards so we can get some fresh stuff for ourselves for future use. So, just need to distribute these leaves around evenly here. I will show you the planting technique here in a moment as well, if you want to do that at home. Which is pretty easy. It's just as with Steve's green onions, it's just put it in a glass of water. So yeah, you don't want to overpower it too much there. Next, we're going to do matzahs, but we're going to do this in discs. Spread evenly around. Now, I didn't hand make my own matzah this time, but that is something that's on my radar to do sometime in the future. So there you have it. We're going to bake this at 425 for about 20 minutes, and we'll be back with this all done. And that is my baby margarita pizza. I'm going to do this crust like a dinosaur. And?
I have some words of wisdom.
What?
Somebody come get her. She's dancing like a stripper.
Did you just meme in real life?
Mm-hmm.
You just did. Steve? Yes. So, I am happy with this. So the dough is a success. I'm ready to dig in. I'm ready to drink. All right. Anything else you guys want to say in the video?
The sauce is delicious.
Sweet. How's the dough?
It is great.
Yeah, the dough looks good. It seems sturdy.
Yes. Well, I was successful. So, close out the video, Greg.
As always, like, share, subscribe, tune in to the rest of the guys' videos, and have a great week.
Bye.